big boy.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Welcome to the Sydney Property Muppets. My name is Kurt Lawther.
I just gave you big kudos before about getting this right every time.
I'm Kurt Lawther, the real estate agent, and with me forever is...
Chris Clark, the buyer's agent.
I think we're running. Let's go.
Let's go roll with this, baby. All right. Today's episode, that was a bit dangerous there. We're going to talk about dangers of selling off market.
Dangers of selling off market, the same as dangers of having a dodgy host or co-host. Chris, I'm a real estate agent, and a lot of the times I'm talking about the best chance to sell your property generally is on the market, providing the most exposure. Because what is my saying? You can't sell
a secret.
Correct.
I've got it tattooed down my left thigh.
And so it doesn't mean necessarily. It doesn't mean selling off market or off portal. You're not going to get a result, or you may potentially could get a fantastic result. But it's about providing yourself with the chance to get the best result. And I am of the belief, like a lot of people, is that you need to sell it on the market.
Yeah, I think off market's really become a big trend in terms of at least talking about it, sharing it. I think that kind of really grew a lot during COVID times when the market was particularly early on. When COVID hit, it was really changing. A lot of agents started push to clients saying, I don't want to go, but let's go off market, no marketing. It sort of then took a hold. And look, sometimes it's the right thing, but overall, we're going to basically break down a bit of the myth of selling off market is not always the right thing to do.
No, and I think agents have actually shot themselves in the foot here by really saying, because off market is you're doing a lot of legwork to get individual buyers through. It's making it a lot more difficult. Then you still got to put a lot of effort in if it's on the market, but you're just providing yourself a bigger chance. And when agents are saying, "Oh, super easy off market sale," it's like it's not easy, mate. And the public then get a different perception.
Yeah, I'd say it's like trying to get fish. If you're going to cast a small net or a big net, which one are you going to catch more fish with? Likely the bigger net.
That's actually a great analogy.
All right, let's continue on that great analogy. So let's say you've got to go on market for property. Let's compare like a hot market versus a cooler market.
Yeah.
So in a hot market, how many people might come and inspect the property over a 4 or 5 week campaign?
In a hot market, you're probably going to have somewhere between 150 to 200 inquiries.
Okay, and a cooling market?
You're probably going to get less than 100 inquiries.
100.
Probably closer to the 50, 50 to 100, I'd say.
Okay, let's work on the basis of those groups, about, let's say 10% ask to receive the contract, which doesn't really mean much. Yep. Of those two groups though, how many of them would ask for a contract to be reviewed? In the hot market, how many would ask for a contract to be reviewed?
If there was just 100 people came through the open home, you're probably looking at reviewed.
They've sent requests for changes.
I'll say 10. We'll go 10. So 100 people come through.
10 requests for changes from buyer solicitor to the vendor solicitor.
Yeah.
In a cooling market?
Between 0 and 3.
Okay, 0 and 3. Okay, in a hot market, how many of those 10 contract reviews end up either being an offer or bidding at auction? What's the sort of rough sort of number there?
Anywhere between 5 and 10.
5 and 10. So quite strong conversion. On the other side, you think you said there was 0 to 2 reviews. How likelihood is it going to be that you're going to get an offer? Because it's not going to be auction. So how likely is it going to offer in those cooling markets?
In a cooling market, obviously the property generally, as a house, for example, you're still going to sell. So I'm going to say 1 to 2.
Yeah, people have done that are still genuine about sort of following through. Okay.
And I'm actually noticing a lot at the moment with the cooling market. Sometimes we're just dealing with one. It's a strong one, and you there's a tango going on, negotiation.
I'd say the lion's share of the deals I've done in the last 3 months have been us against the vendor. And the vendor having an expectation and us having an expectation and working out how to sort of find a middle point or find a point anyway that is acceptable. Okay, so that's when you go on market. So you got REA, domain, you got agency websites, portals and
social media,
proof and all that. Off market, I don't know whether you want to hot or cool. Let's just try and cluster it together. So generally, on an off market campaign, how many people would physically come and inspect the property?
If you've got you're probably talking under 10.
Under 10, okay. And how many of those people are then So half of them receive contracts, request a contract. How many of those would do any review on the contract?
We have spoken about this, but I actually think it's quite low. I think if you had 10 people come through and off market, you're probably going to have maybe 3 to 4 actually request a contract.
I reckon potentially lower, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, I think we a while ago we said maybe a bit high number, but I reckon we'll call it 3. We'll call it 3.
And then of those, how many people are going to put an offer forward?
Potentially 1.
Okay. Now, likelihood of that offer, if you get that, you do get that offer. What's the percentage chance that offer is not going to be, let's just say, in market alignment, but exponentially higher than what we set the market's here? How often do you think that offer is going to come through? It's going to be up here. It's going to be beyond expectations.
Sort of changing my figures a little bit from where I've recently with the market. I reckon 10%.
Okay.
Very rare actually that you're going to get that big auction price for an off market.
So off market, you've got 10%. Chance of selling, and it's 10% chance of selling above what you see or your seller sees as the market level.
Now I'll put a quick caveat in here: is that
you're running my flow.
We, my own company, for example, if we have that off market, we'll make sure that if something's going to happen, it's going to be a decent price. However, a lot of agents I know will be happy.
Yeah, but and also then the thing is, just saying you get an offer that's in the market, I'm not saying you accept that offer.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference in what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what's the chance of getting an offer generated that is below market, but in particular, what is above? Okay, let's go back to hot market, cool market. What are the chances in those circumstances that a property could sell above where the market is currently positioned?
Is this for
on market, either hot or cool? Like what's the percentage chance it's going to be some decent number?
Over.
You can cluster it together.
67%.
67 or 6270?
67%.
Oh God, you're always like this. 67%. So 10% to 67%. So why? I guess this is the crux we're getting to here. Is why would you go and sell a property off market when there's 67% more chance of getting a higher offer going on market than off market?
So I'll boil it down to sort of a category and split it into 3. It's commitment. So there's 2 out of 3, which I'm going to explain, is kind of like, I think it's the vendor sort of not realising what's going on here.
So we're talking about the seller. Let's break this down. It's the seller's motivation for why they want to go off market. You're saying a lot of to do with commitment, so break those 3 down to us.
So one of them is the investment. A lot of people don't want to invest the money. They've then fallen for the agent's trap of we can, no marketing and get you a great price, which is not the right way to go. So investment.
So investment though, they've still got to pay the commission fee, or you're saying they don't have to pay the real estate.com domain type fees.
Yeah. If you're selling a house,
and the big billboard at the front.
Yeah, you're looking at least 9 to 10 grand now for a house.
Okay, so you're not paying that. Go on. Yep. What's another reason?
The time.
Okay, time.
Is they don't want to invest the time, whether it's having to get out of the house, on a Saturday or Wednesday, making the house available.
They still have to get out of its off market, but just the regular. Is that what you're talking about, like the every Saturday? Because off market, they're still going to have to open the house up and maybe
they don't have to present it as well.
That's true.
That's the perception some people.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But you can.
You should, but
yes. So they're the 2 that I kind of like. I'm staunch on. The one I've got more of an understanding is the discreetness, because it could be like an 83-year-old lady who's maybe her husband's passed away, just scared, maybe nosy neighbours, and she just doesn't want people to come through. Like if you're in your 30s, 40s, you've got to deal with that. But I understand someone who's in their 80s, maybe 83 and struggling. And
yes, and I think some people just don't want their neighbours to know until they've actually sold. And in particular, one I see quite a bit is divorce. It's divorce, it's messy, they've got kids involved, they don't want, they may not have fully told the kids about what's going on. And so having an open house every weekend is going to be quite disruptive to them. Whereas they can sell off market, they're still going to tell the kids about it, but they buys themselves a bit of time before doing so.
Yeah, so there's sort of the 3...
On the vendor side, and the agent, why would an agent want to do an off market?
One of the reasons is they generally have a buyer. They've had a buyer that's approached them and said, we need this house, we want that one, or the features all match up.
Yep.
And they've generally got a buyer, and if an agent really does have someone, if they're after a very short agency.
The agreement period.
Yeah, so it might be a couple of days. If the agent does ask for maybe a week or 2, it might be because you don't have a contract of sale ready, and that's going to take time to get ready.
Right, so it's more about the logistics of it all. Okay.
Logistics to just, instead of having to negotiate the agency.
Why else would an agent, maybe not always you, but why else would an agent have a self-interest in putting a property on offer?
It is better to have a listing than no listing at all. Because if you have sold everything or you're a new agent, it's better to have one and you can still work it.
Yeah.
You can still work that property, and
It's interesting because as a buyer's agent, so let's say any given week I get introduced roughly about 100 off-market opportunities. Whether the market's hot or cold, it stays about 100, which is bizarre because the market changes so much. But what I think happens is when the market goes cool, agents are more likely to flip the conversation over to sellers to say, let's go off-market. So the consistency of off-market numbers, not saying they're good or bad to buy, actually stays about the same level.
okay.
Just thought of that, food for thought. Okay, so better to have a listing than not. I think also if you're a brand new agent or if you've just moved suburbs or potentially you've had a big pipeline of client, you've had 10 properties all sold, you're looking down at your book and going, right, I've got nothing.
Yeah. Now, this is also not to confuse someone that's doing a bit of an off-market and they're going to 100% go into a campaign. That they're prepared to sign up.
That's separate. So
Separate. We're talking just pure off-markets.
Yep. But there is a self-interest there of links back into that. Some agents want to go off-market and I'll be brutal here, to beat around the vendor. So the vendor wants to sell it for 3. Agent says it's only worth 2.5 or thinks of something only worth 2.5. Puts the property off-market through their database at 3. They get people coming through, like buyers agents coming through going, actually, I think this is worth 2.5. They then collect that feedback, go to the buyer and say, look, in terms of where it's sitting from off-market standpoint, I could probably only achieve 2.5. We need to go on market. Still 3 million might not be possible, but if you want the best chance, let's go on market. And also the vendors have been like, okay, I've now given up on 3.
Yep.
So they're more realistic in their pricing from going through that approach.
Yes. That is. No, I think that's fair, and I think sometimes it depends. Genuinely putting it to the market, like the buyers agents that are going to be a bit more honest about where pricing is at.
Yeah, we often are involved with agents, even before off market or on market. I've had agents regularly connect with us and say, Chris, can you come see this property? It's not off market. I don't want you, but just come give me your thoughts on the property. And the agent sort of said to me, look, part of it, Chris, is either I'm not sure where to price it, so they're genuine. And other times, like Chris, the seller thinks it's worth, again, use my word, worth 3. I think it's worth 2.5. Can you come in and give us your own genuine perspective, but also maybe help me influence them to 2.5 or 2.7 is actually where it needs to be.
Yeah, and once again, another quick caveat is this is why you've got to know and trust the agent you want to use, because you've got to trust that your real estate agent has actually genuinely got a couple of buyer's agents or one buyer's agent that is going to be ethical and honest. And if they're saying that it might not be worth as much as you think, or it could be worth a bit more, but what they're presenting is factual.
Correct.
If you've got an agent that you're not sure, you're not with the trust, you don't know whether they're actually giving you good information.
From there. All right, so those are definitely some dangers of selling off market. Any final thoughts on that before we go to our 3 quick cues?
Overall,
don't do it. That's it. Let's leave it there.
Then just
3 quick cues. Who's going first?
You are, Chris.
Okay, I'm gonna rapid fire through these.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, best part of being the president of BNI, your networking group.
The connections.
Connections. What's the worst part of being the president of the BNI?
Going to bed at 1 a.m. in the morning trying to get everything ready the night before.
Okay, over the Spitfire Bridge, is there any reason why you can't drive in the left-hand transient lane?
Because you get fined $300 and something. No demerit points though.
On the way here this morning. Unfortunate for some. Anyway, I know, because I'm only asking because I know you got a stitch up on your question to me here at some point. So over to you. Look at your smile.
True or false? Clouds weigh around 1 million tons.
True?
Yeah, that is true. I'm fairly certain you remembered that one.
Go again. Go next one. Next question.
Question 2 is 500 million years ago, one Earth day lasted 21 hours.
True?
Yeah, I think it's roughly true.
Okay, yeah. Sounds so bizarre. It has to be true. Yeah.
I actually think it's 600, but I'll give it to you. And the last question.
You said it.
Snails have 13,000 teeth.
False.
Correct. They've got between 1,000 and 12,000.
I just figured eventually. It's like the university test. Eventually, one of them's going to be not can't all be the same. I've tried that theory before, though, and you have gone the opposite way. So
yeah.
It was risky. All right. Well, thank you all for dropping by.
And
like, subscribe, follow, pass it on to a friend, someone you know that needs.
This is a YouTube only one, so please get in the comments. Got a topic of choice? Please let us know. Thanks for dropping by.